You welcomed me with lemons. When I first came to sign my contract for this new ministry, I was offered lemons and herbs from someone's garden and probably eggs. You welcomed me with lemons, and it felt like such a graceful and gracious gesture from a graceful and gracious community. When I first started here, I did my due diligence, and I was told that UUs of Petaluma were very functional, which cannot be said of all churches, and that they were small but mighty and on the move. The small parts we might have to rethink. But even though we were mighty and we were on the move, it felt like a gentle, gradual sort of move we were on. I could see the contours of the church we might come, but it felt like we would move there, we would rise there gently, like the cake I ended up making from your lemons. Okay, I promise I'm done with that metaphor. And it was. Getting to know you was a delight. The word that came to mind most often was lovely. Everything and everyone was lovely. I came to your all church retreat. I came to the auction at which they'd won the chili cook-off. And I have to tell you that I have been going to church auctions for 40 years. And this is the first one I ever enjoyed. Don't tell everyone else. I started to see a vision of the church we could become. We started to have people on Sundays. I hung out with our kids, played some really terrible ping pong. I could see this halftime ministry slowly growing. And then some stuff happened. We had an election, and a lot of us felt like we were losing our minds, or maybe our faith. And suddenly, this lovely, gentle community started to feel extremely urgent. To think that there is nothing we can do to change the world is antithetical to Unitarian Universalism. We are a people who believe that the world is out there crying for our work. But I will admit that I have had those 2 a.m. thoughts of there is nothing to do. It is too big for me. It is too large. And I suspect I am not the only. Those 2 a.m. thoughts are honest in a way that we are rarely honest, but they're not true. We are a people who can change the world. Maybe not the big stuff, at least maybe not right away. Some of our work is generational. But when I open the newspaper and I feel like I can't breathe because I see that trans troops who only wanted to serve their country are being kicked out of the military, because I see that our young people are being denied gender-affirming care, I will call my senator and I will march, and that will matter. And I will come here and I will sit with our leaders and I will say, how can we create a space so that trans kids in our community know that there are religions that love them rather than religions that would erase them? How do we welcome everyone? How do we grow into our edges? And we come together and say, everyone is welcome here. And we really, really mean it. And when we do that, it makes it easier to keep calling my senator and marching. And when I see the horrifying deportations and just cruelty that we are imposing on the world, I also see all of us voting to be a sanctuary congregation, whatever that might mean, saying that we will pull ourselves closer to our neighbors rather than be pushed farther away. The big stuff matters, but we gotta do the little stuff to keep our souls alive. In a world that would tell people an easy lie, we stand for messy, complicated truth. We do it every Sunday. We do it when we come together and we practice being with each other. When we would do what we can to heal our broken world, and also when we do what we can to hold each other while we get married and lose people we love, while we try to bring our values to our workplaces and wonder what we're giving our kids. Our small work of building community keeps us in the fight. Sometimes, when times are hard, it is tempting to hide. It is tempting to turn to our small circles to protect ourselves. But the truth is, no one has ever protected themselves by turning away from community. No one is safer alone. And this is the team we've got. And thus we shall have to rise to the challenge. When I started this job, I thought, this will be nice and restful. Half time. I have a 5-year-old. I'm busy. I have a 5-year-old, and like many of you, I stand in the sandwich generation, tugged by my life up here and down here. I thought we would build something gentle together, that I would stay at halftime for a while and we would see what happens. Life is not terribly interested in my plans. The board and I are committed to increasing this ministry, which will cost money. And I am committed to choosing each and every one of you as my co-conspirators as we try and figure out what we can do to take care of our world. And so I have applied to enroll my son in school in Petaluma. If all goes well, my family is moving here in the fall. So y'all are gonna have to pay me. I am taking a leap of faith sooner than I planned to, not on my own timeline, because that's not how the world works. And so I would ask you to leap with me. May it be so. Amen.